Hello everyone, welcome back to SQL Age, where we make SQL super simple and practical. In today's video, we are starting with one of the most used concept in a SQL, the inner join. If you have ever wondered how the data from multiple tables get combined, this is where the joins come into play. In the previous video, we have learned or we have just walked through the different types of joins in a SQL. Like we have the different kinds of join: inner join, self join, outer join, and cross join. In outer join, again, we have the three subcategories: left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. So in today's video, we are going to start our very first type of the join, the SQL inner join. So what is mean by inner join, or how the data will be fetched using multiple tables if we are joining the tables using inner join, or in other words, it is called as a simple join as well. Okay, we have seen or we have understood, like in real world databases, actually the data is usually spread across multiple tables. For example, we may have one table storing the employee details, and another table storing the department information, and another table is having the storing the information about the salary of an employees, right? So the employees data can be spread into the multiple related table, and we will be having one common column between all those tables to combine the data from those multiple tables. Right. If you want to analyze or fetch the data meaningfully, like you want to know everything about an employee, let's say salary, department, and maybe some other information as well, like project assigned and all. So if the data is stored in multiple tables and you want a meaningful and combine the data from all the tables, right? So we need to use these multiple tables, or we need the information to be fetched from multiple tables together. That's where the join will help us, right? They connect related data using a common column. So joins are used to connect the related table using a common column. So we are going to see in this today's video the inner join. For that, we are going to create and two sample tables. This is a script I am readily prepared for you guys, so that we will have the enough time to explain the concept. One table we have the TBL department, and we are going to insert some we are having another table called TBL employee. So I'm going to create two tables, and I'm going to insert the data as well into both tables. So TBL department is having two columns, department ID and department name. So it is storing just the information about the departments, right? It will have a unique department ID like 10, 20, 30, 40, and a department name associated with that ID. In a second table, in an employee table, we have the columns such as employee ID, employee name, salary, department ID, and joining date. So in this table, we are going to insert six records, right? It will have the employee ID and the name information associated to that. Let's quickly look for the data, whatever we have inserted into the table. Select star from TBL department and select star from TBL employee. So this is our table we are having, where we have inserted the data. So TBL department is containing four records, which is having four departments like IT, HR, finance, and marketing. The employee table is having information about the six employees, right? So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 records we are having: the name of the employee, the salary of the employee, and the department associated with that employee. That means this simply will show us the employee is working in which department. If you see here, we don't have the department name. Instead, what we have is a department ID. So if I want to know, like employee ID 5, Ravi, right? The employee ID 5, that means the employee Ravi belongs to which department. I need to look for the department ID and see the department table to see in which department he is working. But if you see here, Ravi is not having any department ID mapped to him, right? So it is not having any department assigned to this employee. Okay, if you look for Sarah, it is this particular employee. She is assigned with the department ID as a 20. And what is mean by department name 20? It is like HR. So Sarah is working in HR departments. To get the meaningful information, I need to join these two tables, employee and the department table, right? So here is what the join will come in picture. Let's say we are going to start the inner join. So what is mean by inner join? So it is saying the definition of the inner join is the inner join will retrieve or it will return only rows from multiple tables where the join condition is met. Okay, so as per our syntax of the join, we have to give some join condition. So an inner join in SQL Server returns only the rows that have matching values from both the tables, right? We can think of it as like show me only those employees who have a valid department assigned. That means the employee information, whatever the employee information we are having, so for all the employees the department should be assigned, then only we can say the employee is related to both the tables. Okay, if any employee is not having department, it is not assigned with any of the department, right? So whenever there is a match of a given condition, we are saying like the employee belongs to both the tables and it is having the matching record, so that record will be fetched using inner join. Let's see simply in a visual illustration. We have the table A or table 1 and we have the table 2. So wherever the table 1 and table 2 are matching, like in this particular portion in the middle, we can see here the highlighted area. So this will be the output of the inner join query. So the inner join will return the records where table 1 and table 2 are intersecting, which means it will give only the matching records from both the tables, right? Let's see the syntax for this inner join. So this is the syntax we are having. This is a general syntax I have written out here. I will say general syntax. Okay, so select list of the columns. It can have column 1, column 2. I will just mention column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. Right, so as many columns we can have in the select list. From table 1, inner join, we need to mention inner join, or we can just mention join as well. From table 2, from table 1 join with table 2, and now this is what I was talking about. So whenever there is a match in a condition, so this is the matching condition we have to give. Okay, matching condition we have to give. So on clause is important for any kind of join, right? So on clause will define on which column you are going to join the two different tables. Okay, so it matches based on a condition, usually using a key column like a department ID or employee ID. So it should be matched with table 1 dot column name is equal to table 2 dot column name. So what we are going to do is table 1 and table 2, from both this table we are going to take a common column and we are trying to equalize those two columns using a join condition. So this is how the join clause will work. Okay, now let's just replicate this general syntax with our table. Our question is we want to see, okay, we are saying retrieve only employees having valid department. Okay, so we want to see the employee ID, employee name, and the department name for that employee. So those are our column in a select list. So select columns in like employee dot employee ID, employee dot employee name, department dot department ID. Now what is E dot and D dot? Right, we have seen the SQL aliases. We were seen like how to give the alias name for the column. Here we are giving the alias name to the table itself. So select list of columns from table employee. We are giving alias name as a E. In a join table department, we are giving alias name as a D. And on condition will define table 1 dot column common column equal to table 2 dot common column. Now if you see both the tables, what we have is a common column is a department ID. In both the tables we have the department ID. So we are going to join the inner join condition with department ID as a common column. So employee in the sense employee dot department ID is equal to D is nothing but department dot department ID. So this is our matching column we are having. When you execute this query, we will get only the matching records. Okay, if you see here, we are getting the employees 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. The employee ID 5 is not retrieved in this result set. Now why it is not retrieved? Because if you see the condition, we have the clause here called E dot department ID is equal to D dot department ID. Now what is E dot department ID for the employee ID 5? Okay, so the department ID is null, but null is not present into the department. And even if it is having any record with null as a department ID, that will also not be retrieved. Why it is happening? Because the null and null cannot be matched, right? So this is the simple example of the inner join. It will give you only the matching records from the both the tables, right? So SQL will look for each of the row present in the employee table, then find a matching department ID in the departments table. So it will take the department ID for each of the employee and it will try to find out the department name for that department ID. Only if there is a match exists, that means department ID from employee and department ID from the department table is matches, that row only will appear in the result set of the query. Right, notice that the only employees belonging to the valid departments will appear in the result set. If there was an employee with the department ID 50 or department ID 40 or department ID 60 which is not exist, the employee wouldn't show up because inner join only keeps matching records in the result set. Right, we can see here it is having only the matching records. Okay, let's imagine a retail business scenario. Okay, you have a table called orders and we have the customers table as well. We have one table called order and we have the customer table, and it is having some uh, columns like order ID, order date, customer name and city. Okay, and in customer table we have the customer information like customer ID, customer name and so on. Okay, so if you want to see only the customers by whom the order has been placed, or you want to see only those orders placed by the registered customers, so you can use the inner join. So inner join will only give those values wherever there is a match, right? So this simple example gives you a combined view of both order details and customer information, but only the customers who exist in your database. So inner join is useful. Inner join, almost 90% of the time we'll be using the inner join in real time scenario. Okay, so just as a tip I can say inner join is a most commonly used join type, especially for reports, dashboards, even on for the analytics as well. Okay, below are some of the examples I have given. With the inner join we can use the where condition to filter the data, right? We can use any date conditions as well. We can use the group by clause as well at the end of the inner join, or we can use the order by clause as well. So it is not like we just need to use the inner join. With the inner join we can use any filtered condition, we can or use the order by, we can find out the average salary per department, right? We can see the employees whose joining date is below 2020 or greater than 2020. We can see the employees belonging to only IT department. So any filters, any aggregate functions, any string functions, everything can be used along with this inner join clause, right? So that's all for this particular inner join. So what we have learned today is like inner join is a one of the important type of the SQL server, right? This is used to combine the rows from two tables. Again, it returns only the matching data from both the tables, and it's the perfect for combining the related data across the multiple table based on a matching values, right? So in the next video we will explore left join, which help you to include all the records from one table even if there is a no match, right? So catch me in the next video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to SQL Age, your channel, to keep learning the SQL Server in a simple way. Thank you everyone. Bye.